Yo, today we are covering the topic, do you procrastinate? Advice on fighting procrastination. Now, this is from my newsletter that I stopped publishing, but this was written on January, so let's see how much I agree with and if I can add anything to this writing. I start off by saying procrastination is something that I battle with every now and again, more often than not. Procrastination is something that many people seek solutions for on online forums that I roam on. It's very popular. It's a very popular topic, especially in sub study related stuff. So study related forums, study related topics. Procrastination is number top five out of that kind of discussion. It can be challenging when you don't understand why you feel like delaying things and don't know what the simple solutions are that can get you started and back on track. I delayed many things in my earlier years of personal development, and I'm sure I'll be happy if many people can relate to that too. Actually, I take that back. It will be nice to have other people that can relate to that sentiment. This is because I was adjusting to a new lifestyle of seeking the best for myself and learning more about my own habits and traits. Procrastination is a barrier to growth because it makes you feel like delaying something that is the best option because of how easy it is to say I'll do it tomorrow. And I've mentioned that you become this person that has this Mr. Tomorrow syndrome, where you'll say, tomorrow I'll be the best version of myself and I'll be able to do it. And it just happens to us. We when we have something in front of us that requires effort, we're more likely to say, I'll deal with that another time, as opposed to actually using your energy to figure that out and to try your best at it. However, the biggest problem with procrastination is not that you delay things once. It's a reoccurring theme. Procrastination is a big problem because it makes you delay one thing multiple times until you look back and realize that you spent days, weeks, months, or even years delaying a certain task or goal that you should have been working on. The repetition of this attitude is what causes it to be one of the biggest barriers to personal and professional success. That is arguably one of the best things I've ever said in regards to personal development and resistances. The problem with procrastination is that it makes you redo that habit over and over again. The habit of not doing something. You get caught in a cycle, and that is the biggest problem with procrastination. Not that it makes you stop something once. Oh, no, no, no. It makes you stop things 100 times until you realize on the 101st time that you haven't done things 100 times, that you've delayed it so long. The question that you want to ask is, how do I stop procrastination? That is the question everyone wants to know, among with a million others. The question would be to say that you cannot stop procrastination. Now, this is one perspective on it. It is something that you will re-encounter multiple times throughout your life, and that is almost a fact. However, you can make preparations and create a routine that can help you fight against procrastination and lessen the effects of it, lessen the effects it has on you when you encounter it. So this is more of a retaliation kind of thing, and being able to tackle a problem once it comes, as opposed to thinking that you can prevent it altogether. Now, sorry, I had to go do something. Family, my dad called me for something, but I forgot where I left off. So I think I'll just continue reading. One of the biggest ways that I have been able to keep procrastination at bay is pursuing things I am passionate about. I've literally forgot what I've written here in this entire segment, so it'll be my first time going through this again. That is a very true statement, but I'm gonna keep going. This sounds simple because it is. There is no trick behind it. However, do not overlook the importance of focusing on things that are in line with your purpose, passion, and interests. It is very important to take time and to look. Is it very important to take time to look into what you are passionate about? Try out new things to see what you like and don't like, so you can better understand what makes you feel fulfilled. When I spend time working on what is in line with my purpose, I find it easier to work on it because I enjoy it, and delaying the things that would cause me to feel unfulfilled because I know that there is something I have to do. So it's that feeling of having a mission and purpose that keeps me that keeps me driven, and it prevents me from delaying things. It prevents me from procrastination. And this leads me to the second thing that is very important about procrastination, and that is urgency slash commitment. And this is something almost everyone can relate to, and I'll explain why. I'll give the example of an exam. For example, when you have an exam you have to do in school, or for example, when your parents or someone that is your carer asks you to do something like a chore or something, when it's closer to that time that you have to do something, you are more likely to do it and you pick up that urgency right in the last minute. But 90% of the time up until that point, that's where you procrastinate. But that last 10% right before you have to do something, like you have to, that is when you bump everything up to 100. But that 90%, that's where procrastination is. And unfortunately, that is how we are wired naturally, because it wasn't something that I got taught. It was something that I picked up, and many of you have picked up yourselves. When you tell yourself you have to do something, it changes your thoughts and actions towards that task. When you implement a strategy where you consistently tell yourself the importance of a task, you will slowly start to believe that you have to take action because it is something that you have high regard for. If you try it, now this is just me going off the top of my head. Now, I can be wrong, and I haven't thought about this too much before speaking about it, but I mentioned that 90% of the time you procrastinate, and that 10% where it's right before the deadline is where you really go 100%. If you were to flip that 10% and apply it to that 90%, you will get so much done. Of course, it'll be a lot more stressful for you because in that 10% there is a lot of stress, but you will get so much more done if you flip that 10% to become that 90% of being productive and leave that 10% for procrastination. That's just an idea I have. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, where did I even leave it on? Deadlines is a way to silence procrastination because it is a counter to it. Deadlines is the counter to procrastination. When you have something that needs to be completed today, procrastinating will be completely unreasonable to help you because you don't have it tomorrow. It will be completely unreasonable to you because you don't have it tomorrow to complete it. There is no tomorrow in this case. If you have an exam today, if you have a chore today, if you have something that is time bound, that is required today, and you have to do it, in your mind you are convinced that, listen, I have to do this, or I'm going to be a failure at this, or something's going to be at jeopardy, you won't procrastinate because you have no choice. And that is what the deadline does for you. This is why using deadlines will help you create that attitude of urgency and commitment, because you are setting a time-bound goal / task, which is the opposite of what procrastination's goal is for you, which is to delay things as much as possible. That is the end goal of procrastination, if you don't know. Procrastination is there to delay things as much as possible. Almost like a train, for example. Let's say your train is from A to B, but procrastination is A point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, and those are the train stops. And the more stops you have, of course, it's going to take you longer to get to B, where it would have been a 10-minute journey, now it's become an 8-hour journey. And I hope that is easy to understand. I just made that up on the spot now as well. Now, however, it is important to know that these things will only work as much as you are willing to put the effort into it and be serious about it. I can say these things, and then someone in the comments will type that, look, none of this stuff worked for me. I don't care. I hate you. You're an idiot, or something like that. But unless you seriously try it, you won't know the effects it will have for you, and hopefully it'll be positive. That's why I share it, because it's worked for me, or it's worked for the next person. So I just put out there for people to be aware of it, and that's my honest intention. I hope my honesty's been put out there for you guys. Try your best to learn from your efforts, rather than not giving it your best effort and quitting at the slightest sign of failure. There are more I can discuss, but I will leave that for another time. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it's been clear as to what the differences are, and yeah, I hope there is some benefit to you watching this.